Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jennifer Lezak, Coordinator of Special Projects with the Adult Services Department, and on behalf of everyone at the Chicago Public Library, welcome. Tonight's program is part of the 2020 One Book, One Chicago season, exploring the theme Beyond Borders and the book Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. For more information on other virtual programs, including book discussions, author events, workshops, and more, visit onebookonechicago.org. Thanks to the Chicago Public Library Foundation, Bank of America, Union Pacific, and United Airlines for their support in making this season of One Book, One Chicago possible. Tonight's program is co-sponsored by CPL's Latinx Heritage Committee and presented in honor of Latinx Heritage Month. Our thanks to the librarians on that committee for their support in making tonight's event happen. During tonight's program, we encourage you to leave your thoughts and reflections in the chat here on YouTube and discuss with other viewers in real time. Tonight, it is my pleasure to welcome Mijente and LatiNext for a poetry salon featuring poets and members from the Latinx anthology, including Sarah Bruno, Vic Chavez Peralta, Linda Soul, and Penelope Alegria. The BreakBeat Poets Volume 4 LatiNext is an anthology that opposes silence and remixes the soundtrack of the Latinx diaspora across diverse poetic traditions. In the dynamic tradition of the BreakBeat Poets Anthology series from Haymarket Books, the Latinx Volume 4 celebrates the embodied narratives of Latinidad. Poets speak from an array of nationalities, genders, sexualities, races, and writing styles, staking a claim to our cultural and civic space. Like hip hop, the book honors what was, what is, and what's next. You can check out the book at your Chicago Public Library or visit haymarketbooks.org for information on purchasing a copy of your own. Now it is my great pleasure to welcome our two wonderful hosts for tonight. Please join me in welcoming Sophia Campos and Jonathan Mendoza.
Hello, there I am. Saludos, everybody. Welcome to our LatiNext Poetry Salon. We're very excited to continue our collaboration with the BreakBeat Poets LatiNext poetry book, and specifically with these amazing poets that will be featured tonight, coming all the way from Chicago, Illinois. I am Sophia. I work at Mijente, which is a political home for Latinx, Chicanx people across the US and Puerto Rico who share our pro-Pueblo values. That means that we are pro-Black, pro-queer, pro-trans, pro-mujer, pro-Pueblo, period. And we are clear and grounded in those values, and that we must fight and organize our communities in order to achieve the justice and the buen vivir that we deserve. And so we also know that our cultura is our power. If we can move and shift culture as we build power, that will be fun, and that will be our easiest way to organize and bring our people together. And so this event really is a way to amplify and be good on that front. And so at Mijente, we organized against, within, and without the state. Right now, we have a heavy emphasis on the within the state strategy. Electorally, we are getting out the vote across the country, specifically to our Latinx, Chicanx gente, which is not being outreached to, which is not being talked to for the most part. And so we are making sure that as community, we are reaching out to each other, making sure that we're informed, making sure that we know when, where, and how to vote if we can. And even if we can't, knowing that we have a role in these elections and beyond November 3rd to organize our people and fight for what we need. And so that is what we are focused on right now. I encourage you to follow us at Con Mijente, that's CONMIJENTE, on social media to learn more about our campaigns, to get plugged in. And also want to encourage you to visit mijente.net. That's our website, mijente.net. The J is for justicia, or justice, and for joteria, and you fill in the blank, because we know we keep flowing and growing. So that's a little bit about Mijente to get us started. I also want to introduce our host for the night, Jonathan Mendoza, who is actually one of the great conveners and organizers of this series, and is also an amazing poet based in Chicago. So I'll pass it over to you, Jonathan.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sophia. And thank you, Jennifer. And thank you to the folks, the Latinx Heritage Series conveners at Chicago Public Library. So yeah, thank you so much. My name is Jonathan Mendoza. I am based here in Chicago. I am an organizer with Pilsen Alliance. I am a teaching artist with Young Chicago Authors. And also, in case you couldn't tell, I'm a somewhat proud member of Mijente. So you can get a lot of great swag, just like this amazing t-shirt on their website. But yeah, I mean, the series was really born out of recognition of a need and desire to see more convergence between the arts and building political power, especially among folks who've been historically disenfranchised and who within the Latinx community have especially been disempowered. So it brings me a lot of joy to be able to host this event. This may be our last event for this series for some time. So we have some incredible poets to, kind of be that grand finale for the season. But before we jump into it, I do definitely want to give a shout out to Mijente as being a really amazing political home to strategize, to organize, and win, like really work for and win the radical things that we need. So definitely go to mijente.net/join. Again, that's mijente with a J.net/join. And the other thing I will say is that we probably have a lot of poets watching, maybe a lot of artists. And I'm very excited to have been supporting the build out of some recruitment of artists and folks who work in arts and media to really recognize like what kind of power do we have as folks who work in those areas to move things politically and to build political power within our communities. So if you go to this link, and I'm hoping it will pop up magically in the chat bar because I don't know how to do that, but it's bit.ly/Mijente Arts Media. And that's like each word capitalized, Mijente Arts Media. And you can fill out a little survey to get involved and see what you can bring to the table, which everything that you have to bring is definitely more than welcome as an artist, as someone who works in arts or media to help us keep building. So it's obviously a critical time to do that. So definitely encourage you to do that and please share widely. So without further ado, we have some incredible poets lined up here. I can't hear you, but I hope you're screaming at the top of your lungs for Vic Chavez Peralta, for Sarah Bruno, for Penelope Alegria, and for Linda Sol. Before we kick it off to them, I want to just, crack the ice a little bit. I don't think that's the phrase, but that's what we're going to go with. I'm cracking the ice and not breaking it. Okay, I'm a poet, everyone. That's what I do. Kilos of a substance not permitted are acquired. Mexican officials surround them inside 6 metal walls cubed together. The drugs are not allowed to leave without cash bail. We place borders everywhere. We encage the third world from the first. My fence is permeable. We funnel whites and wealth and those who we want in through its chicken wire holes, through its white picket slits. Those who are not white or are not wealth are detained. We detain everything. We detain Black neighborhoods inside red lines. We detain indigenous lands inside white treaties. We detain encampments behind sidewalks. We detain renters. We detain the house. The renters are deported to a third world within the first. The house becomes a new home, its rim a new border. Those who are not white and who are not wealth can't near it. If they do, they have crossed the threshold and will be detained. They may be detained into a police car. Degraded bars its iron fence. A border is constructed of 4 car doors until the illicit substance or person is transferred to a holding cell. Cash bail is a temporary status. Cash money is a passport. You can go anywhere. A home is a border. Those who enter may be removed. All wall, all colonial construct. Some people and things are illicit everywhere. The army recruiter is an agent of removal operation. The college admissions officer may permit you naturalization into the middle class. There is a border at the school exam. There is a border at the job agency. There is a fence at the Medicaid office. There is a wall at the hospital. The Corey form is for Homeland Security investigations. E-Verify is for Homeland Security investigations. Stolen wages are granted visas for their employers to hold onto. A worker is deported. Their social security tax is granted asylum. Their wealth becomes citizen. Remittances cross over. Your money is naturalized. Okay, I'm just gonna pretend everyone's clapping because I don't know if that's happening now, but I'm just gonna hear it in my head. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Wow, oh wow, a standing ovation. Oh my gosh, that's so, wow. Okay, I'm overwhelmed. So thank you everyone. I hope you show just as much or a lot more love to these next amazing poets who you're about to hear from. So as mentioned, all of these poets are in the BreakBeats Volume 4 LatiNext anthology from Haymarket Books. Please, please, please go to haymarketbooks.org where you can find that book. I have it. I am also in it. And it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful thing to have in your home. So the first poet you're gonna want to look up in there, among the many first poets, you're gonna want to look up all of them, but one of them in there is the amazing Vic Chavez Peralta, who's gonna kick it off for us right here as our first guest reader. So Vic Chavez Peralta is a queer first generation Guaranese Nawa poet from the Chicago suburbs. They study at Columbia College Chicago for poetry and education, where they also were a student editor for Columbia Poetry Review. They've been published in Southside Weekly, shout out to Southside Weekly, YCA's Curiosity zine, shout out to YCA Curiosity, Line Breaks first zine, also shout out to Line Break, and BreakBeat Poets Volume 4 LatiNext. They can be found rereading Pablo Neruda's book. You can find their Twitter at Vic Peralta with 2 A's at the end, or on Instagram at V Peralta with 3 A's at the end. Make sure you get that right. So without further ado, everybody make a lot of noise in your home. Vic's gonna hear it in their head. Make a lot of noise for Vic Chavez Peralta.
Hi, thank you, Mijente, for having me, and thank you for the Chicago Public Library for hosting this event. This is really important. I'm going to read 3 poems, 2 of which are in the anthology. So here we go. Dios te salve Maria. La Virgen de Guadalupe loves me, even though I'm queer. Actually, La Virgen saw a golden prayer of herself shimmer around my neck when I was 3 months old and made me gay. She supported all my crushes, even if she doesn't remember all of them, some too straight, some too American to pronounce. But La Virgen loved all my daydreams about girls, would never let me trip chasing them, or made sure I had enough dollars in my pocket to buy them a paleta. If she approved of the girl, maybe 2 paletas, para no chingues. I always kept La Virgen on my neck, a shrine to my day one. La Virgen gave me enough data to download the app Her, and the courage to tell my best friend I was in love with her. In fact, La Virgen got tired of all my love letters stuck in the back of my throat and whispered in my best friend's ear, "Hey, ella está enamorada de ti. Ask her, dame una risa," and boom, I had a girlfriend. That night, I prayed to her, Dios te salve Maria. La Virgen, no, you didn't. I mean, mi reina, gracias. And she said, no problem, pendeja. The next poem I'm going to read is from the anthology as well. It's called When Colin Chanted Build the Wall at Me. The teacher didn't say anything, and the Rio Grande started to drown my father again. I had to drag my dad out in the middle of the classroom and swallow him. I'm gonna speak a little more on that poem because I had the unfortunate experience of going to Hinsdale Central on a fluke. We had a landlord who didn't check credit scores because only rich people really rented the house that for when their mansions were getting remodeled. And that was the house that we were able to move into. If you don't know what Hinsdale is, it's a Chicago suburb where the majority of the population is part of the top 1%. I went to school with the children of CEOs, doctors, surgeons, lawyers, judges. So I know what those people in power really think because their children told me. Their children harassed me and made me a target for their racist, homophobic, transphobic, classist, whatever hate. And I'm here to tell you that we need to vote those people out. They need to go. It's not just about the Nazi in the White House, it's about the judges in our towns, the school boards in our cities, the lawyers and the doctors in our hospitals that we have to better with equal and just laws. So please vote and please look into your local organizations that put on protests, that put on strikes, that put pressure on these changes. Our job doesn't end at voting. That's where it starts. I'm gonna read my last poem that's not in the anthology, but that I really love. And it's for Las Mujeres. Praise to las mujeres, sin ustedes no sería yo. Praise to pigtails, praise to headscarves, praise to the kitchen, and praise to the hands residing there. Praise to the mamas, praise to tias and their red lipstick, praise to primas and their nail polish. Give praise to las abuelitas. You owe them your life, your dreams, and your stomach. Praise to las maestras, the woman who gave us the words we hoard in our mouths. Praise to the woman who taught us how to use our tongue, how to sigh, and how to say, ya me vale madre. Praise to the woman I give up my seat to on the bus. Praise to my 6 a.m. bus driver, the only woman I feel safe with at that time. Praise to mamita, honey, mija, and baby girl. Praise to the strut I studied and tried to copy my whole life. Praise to my family in the mountains. Praise to my tia's apartments, their tiles broken and windows open, their mouths loud and feet tapping. Praise to Celia Cruz on the radio. Praise to the way we can turn kitchen into dance floor, sala into dance floor, hallway, bus, back seat, as long as the windows are open. The music is somewhere in the background of their singing, and my eyes wide and following. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vic. Damn, how you feeling, Sophia? I'm like overwhelmed for words. Pretty good.
So good. Oh my gosh, so good.
I feel like the light, like I was looking at the lights in the back on your wall, and I was like, I feel like each line is like a different light, just like gracing me. It's really delightful. Thank you so much, Vic. Okay, so take it in, right? Take it in, take some deep breaths wherever you are. These definitely like aren't easy times we're in, and I think the poetry speaks to that, and the moment, not just of these months, but of these years, of these lifetimes that we have been experiencing. So yeah, thank you so much to Vic and to these posts you're gonna hear. And yeah, definitely, as Vic said, right, like there are plenty of different organizations to get involved with. We mentioned Mijente, which has a presence in Chicago as one, but whatever your political home is, so we're part of a number of coalitions with like the defund police movement. So definitely there's a variety of ways to plug in. So thank you for shouting that out. Okay, as mentioned, you can follow Vic at Vic Peralta on Twitter, the 2 A's, IG at Vic Peralta, 3 A's. Okay, so our next poet, I'm so excited to introduce, actually met her a long time ago in Philadelphia, very randomly. And then I saw her in Chicago, and I was very uncertain for like the first hour and a half if she remembered who I was. But then I was like, hey, do you remember me? And she's like, yes, I do. So I was very glad to hear that. This person is Sarah Bruno. Sarah Bruno is a Puerto Rican Chicago Southside native, a PhD candidate in the cultural anthropology program at University Wisconsin-Madison, and a recipient of First Wave. So many shout outs to First Wave. I love those folks. Hip Hop and Urban Arts Full Tuition Scholarship. She is currently a Mellon ACLS Dissertation Fellow, completing her dissertation, Black Latinx Refusal in Motion, Bomba Puertorriqueña and Decolonizing Diasporic Archives. That sounds incredible. Her work is published in the LatiNext, Acentos Review, and Anthropology News. As a poet, she has performed throughout the country and competed in slam poetry at the collegiate level, CUPSI, and is Louder Than a Bomb University champion. Damn. Her research and art lie at the intersections of performance, diaspora, and colonialism. She is invested in Puerto Rico, Blackness, femininity, and affect. She aims to continue to write and care about never-ending process of surviving, living, and healing in Puerto Rico and its diaspora. You can find her on Twitter at Machete Princess, which is a fantastic handle, or on IG at Machete Princess. So without further ado, I'm gonna give it up to Sarah. Make some snaps.
Cool. I'm gonna start out with this new poem. Yeah, it's a new one. I've been thinking a lot about what it means to try to get a job in the academy and maybe leave Chicago. And yeah, so My city is curved daggers into brass knuckles, that's what they say. So what if my kids believe them? What if they don't know that it's an armor to weather any wind below zero, a cruel summer, or corruption? My dad died and I went away. 7 years in Wisconsin where people ask me things like, are you a ghost whisperer? You ever been shot at? Yes, yes, and I never wanted to live there again at one point. Not because of the questions. My city held answers for me. Other cities held adventures, and I've always been down for the ride. But lately I've been thinking about how I will answer my kids' questions. Will I tell them about the red lines? Will they know that I'm talking about a train? Will they know about acapurias in the park, or that jibaritos are a Shirican delicacy? What if they don't like plátanos? If the barril doesn't call to them like it did me? Or if salsa won't push them past the sad stuff? Will they know the joy of the Puerto Rican Day Parade? My worst nightmare is that I raise kids who claim Chicago like suburban kids do. Never staying longer than Lala, the experience but not the environment, or worse. Will they hear my stories about art shows, baseball games, and house parties, and gentrified neighborhoods whose crooks and crannies hold my lost scrunchies? I don't see my family leaving Chicago, and I want my kids to know the stock they're made of. Forced migration, petty charges, racism, living on tightropes of gang territories, and we still here, arguing about dominoes. I've been thinking about how little I have a say in the matter. I know how Night Drives on Lakeshore are a Nicholas Sparks novel for girls who find their love stories on the South Side or West Side or over East. I know how to not flinch when the sofrito hits the oil, how the elotero sounds when it's coming down the block. Will I forget all of that to go where I get a job? But I mean, how do I gift my kids a city? Or is Chicago something God gifted me? Something my parents gifted me, and am I supposed to keep it for myself? How do I gift them another city? Do I gift them a second city? So that's the one. Moving right along. Okay, so this is this Cardi B poem that's in this like anthology. And this is big apologies to people on Facebook who go to my mom's church. Bitch, may I call you bitch? We daughters of asphalt, flinching credit scores, quivering language, became big body baby girls. Pigtails on cubic zirconia skull chains slung across broad chest. Can't hug pillar of man through glass. We know betrayal sounds like the snitch of a metal detector. Cause if a bitch beef with me, we gon' beef forever. And if you love him, you gon' love him forever. Regular, schmegular, degular girl, extraordinary, heavy-handed love, big soft heart and knuckle teeth, chest cracked open, left you bleeding in the middle, linking through the streets, whispering your name through sewer and concrete. You part your lips to say, dick sucking contest? I'm winning, like only a gangster bitch could. Ready to rumble for your love, hand-to-hand combat to keep away bops and those curses. Know you pray like you rap, all chest and pain. You married his ass for his dick and God. Stripper turned rapper, turned over ass up face. Down the years, your girls became bobblehead eye rolls. Snake skin stretching across their toes. You know slithering looks like bitches hip rolling next to you in the club. Got you scared to trust anyone but Hennessy. God chose me. They should figure it out. But I've been meaning to ask you, you ever get tired of anointing? You ever wish you wasn't so holy, so sacred, so the apple of God's eye that everyone waits for you to go rotten? When you felt the spirit jump out your body and through your chancla or Jimmy Choo, whichever, I wonder if you regretted dreaming this big. Crazy how we love the hood till the hood shows up. You all neck roll, smack lip, slick ponytail, scissor eye roll, spotlight, brown eyes. Bitch, I see you. Okay, time for like 2 more. One of them short, yeah, right? Yeah, no, okay. Head nod, thank you. So this one, it's an oldie. And it's like, the prompt was like, write a love poem, but in the voice of someone you really admire and care about. So this is actually, yeah, this is an old poem, but here we go. Love, you ain't ready. You chose wrong, I ain't your type. Go home, you will end up like me, flatline. Love is dead, love. Are you casket ready? You don't know shit about this skin. It's ash swaying with the breeze of breath too kin to burning it. You don't know your fire will burn, skin to bone. Loving a skeleton is loving machete wind chimes. Your kisses will resemble CPR, but I laid down in mausoleum. How you figure you gonna resurrect me? I sleep with the dead fetus that never knew no hand clutching, finger tracing, knuckle chain type love, baby boy, you ain't no healer. Scabbed, flesh tender, my knuckles ain't used to tracing. Why you want they outline anyway? Your knuckles was made for tracing. The map to Atlantis etched on your palm, lost city of knowledge, life in fingerprints, tips of fingers made orchids bloom bountiful. You figure you some miracle worker or something? Your fingertips can't trace me, humanity, honey, can't trace me, warm. My mouth can crush solids, how you feel about being dust. Who lost you, scavenger? You are out here feeding off dead love. My eyes done lost they glitter, blinked fairy dust to too many eager flyers. I seen the cemetery too many times trying to lay to rest this heart of mine. I ain't got untold riches tattooed on hand, no birthright to gold statues. I played bloody knuckles one too many times. Skin on skin causing wildfire, bones rubbing curves not meant for one another, letting the sting live there for days afterwards. You gonna make it another? Okay. And so my last poem, new shit. It is really important to me to bring up Breonna Taylor in this space. It's important to me to mention Ni Una Más in Puerto Rico, where there is a femicide happening and we do need a state of emergency. So this is like me meditating on all this. Under this state, daughters are missing. After the bullet has pulverized bone, flesh, and all there is left is a spirit, the memories of pigtails and the crackling of a laugh being interrupted by the wailing of a mom. How long will it take for people to realize Black women are mourning? Puerto Rican women are grieving. All of me is burning in a rage. Ni Una Más, say her name. In Chicago, we danced a yuba for Breonna Taylor, moving for her like justice won't, to defend the dead and hope they defend us. There is a chorus of women abandoned that are owed, and I am waiting for them to collect. I will join them, knees bent and waiting to hear the drum break.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Yes, I hope once again, wherever you are, you're just yelling loud noises and applauding, and you know your roommates or family or like neighbors are like, what the hell is happening right now? But if they ask that, you just let them know. You just heard Sarah Bruno share some beautiful poems. Thank you, Sarah. So yeah, once again, at Machete Princess, you can find more of her work there. And again, that she is also, as everyone is here tonight, in that LatiNext anthology. It's a really pretty book, like not just content wise, but like the cover and everything. It actually is like pretty close to the shade of Sarah's room, that pink wall. But also I'm colorblind, so I might be telling you an enormous lie. How are folks feeling? Yeah, how are you doing, Sophia?
I'm great. I'm curious if you have the book to show it off.
Oh, I do, but it's
oh, mira, she has it. Sarah has it on deck. Get ready. Yes, it does match. You're right.
I think, Sarah, you would have to like speak or something for it to go. on.
No,
I'm
you
not
can
sure
see
if
it.
that's
Right now
you
we're
can
all
see
on
it?
screen.
Okay, okay. Okay, that I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
There you go. You're ready. Awesome, lovely. So make sure you go to Haymarket Press, is it haymarketbooks.org, and you can get that book. One thing I did want to shout out as well is that, as mentioned, this is has been a series. This is kind of a temporary conclusion to the series, but all of the other videos, I believe, should be on Mijente's YouTube page. So if you look up Mijente, and probably if you look up like LatiNext, something like that, together, you can find the past videos. So you can watch all those poets and follow them and show some love to them. So please definitely feel free to do that. Okay, we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna keep it moving. So the next poet we have right now is Penelope Alegria. So you can make some snaps, make some whoop whoop, whatever you want to do in your home. Penelope Alegria is the 2019-2020 Chicago Youth Poet Laureate and the author of Milagro, her debut chapbook. She is a 3-time member of Young Chicago Authors Artistic Apprenticeship. Sorry, this cat is making so much damn noise. Louder than a bomb squad. Her work has been featured on and is forthcoming in La Nueva Semana, El Basement, Muse, a journal, the BreakBeat Poets Volume 4 LatiNext, as well as BBC Radio 4 and WBEZ Radio Archives. She is a Brian Mill Press Editor's Pick, and she was awarded the 2018 Literary Award by Julian Randall and both the 2019 and 2020 Poetry Award by the Niles West English Department. She has performed spoken word at the Obama Foundation Summit, Pitchfork Music Festival, and other venues in the Chicagoland area. She will attend Harvard College in the fall of 2020. Now is the fall of 2020, so congrats, maybe that's already started. But yeah, Penelope is a really amazing poet. I've had the pleasure of seeing her perform live, as all these poets through Young Chicago Authors. So I'm really excited to, as you should all be, to experience more of her work tonight. So without further ado, I'm gonna pass it off to Penelope.
Thank you, Jonathan. That's right. It is the fall of 2020. I'm currently on campus. This is my dorm. So for you all today, I have about 2 long-ish poems, not too long, prepared for you all. The first poem is going to be one that was in the Latinx anthology, and the second is going to be a poem that is actually in the debut chapbook, my debut chapbook, titled Milagro. It drops next week on Wednesday, and I'm really excited. Okay, so this first poem is titled La guitarra llora when my parents meet. Y al ver que inútilmente te envío mis palabras, llorando mi guitarra, se deja oír su voz. Is what the guitar hustler sing. Today his brown eyes meet her brown eyes. An off-key song of poverty as passengers swing on and off El Micro, the small green buses of Lima. His jutting headstalks swaying with the melody, serenading eyes that have learned to take no notice. His brown eyes have learned to take no notice, as vendors shoulder their way through the jungle of limbs shouting, "Tamarina chicha choclo," competing with him for spare change. The arms, legs, and heads crammed in El Micro sway as a small green bus swerves around missing manhole covers. The putrid mist from open sewer lids sprinkles noses. Amid the overcrowding, the hustlers, the street vendors, her brown eyes have learned to take no notice. So, on this night, on the way home from the hospital, where she is a secretary, when the sweet garbage stench washes in and mixes with the body odor of the guitar hustler shoving a jingling cup into her chest, she looks over his black hair as city lights blur past. Her forehead glistens with humidity. Droplets roll down her spine. Her hair frizzes like Juan cotton candy. Compressed in the aisle, her sweaty knuckles brace herself to the back of the seat, and as a guitar hustler moves on, her stare slips, and her brown eyes meet his brown eyes. He's seen her get on. He's been waiting to say something, thinking of the right words as he sings along. She's the only blonde in a sea of brown, in the jungle of legs and sweaty heads and jutting elbows. His brown eyes meet her brown eyes. She responds by pushing her way through the people to exit El Micro. There's something about her worth following, so he shoulders past the tamarindo vendor, catches up to her on the street, grasps for her fingertips, and their eyes meet. The kiosk sells single cigarettes, and she doesn't even smoke, but there is something about him worth smoking for. She coughs, coughs, coughs. Her brown eyes meet his brown eyes, and the question marks exhaled from her lungs, hanging in the air between them, become ellipses. She flirts with, cansado de llamarte, con mi alma destrozada, comprendo que no vienes, porque no quiere Dios, y al ver que inútilmente te envío mis palabras, llorando mi guitarra, se deja oír su voz. Thank you. That was the first poem. I hope you all enjoyed my beautiful voice that hasn't been warmed up. It's very good. This next poem is, like I mentioned, a poem that will be in the debut chapbook coming out next week. It's a poem that took me a really long time to write, a poem I have been meditating on since I was a small child. Yeah, you'll see. This poem is titled No More Nuts Here, after Natalie Diaz's No More Cake Here. When ice knocks the door down, I panic, shriek, let me get the cashews from the pantry because I love cashews. Though mom only eats almonds and nuts give dad gas, I should have grabbed napkins, but I thought the ice carnival would supply. I didn't cry about it until I was in the back of Ice's red pickup, squirming on prickling hay bales, crammed between giant toddlers and cholos with sweet taffy mouths. Ice's deportation parade trumpets out of the Chicago suburbs and into Logan Square. On board, there are bearded ladies and 3 clowns crowding the passenger seats and plastic pink dogs ballooning to the sky. Loose hay needles pour out from the back of Ice's red pickup as we prod through the city. The toddlers fuss for food and grow 20 feet tall. I'm bored, so I have dad hum boleros. I give mom my cashews, but only 5 at a time. That way, no one notices my Ziploc bag forever bubbling more cashews, and I'll have enough nuts to last me until we reach desert or border officer or whichever brands me brown first. Uncle spots the giant toddlers from his apartment and follows Ice's truck, coos up at the balloon dogs like, cool clouds, clasps his hands behind the 8th wonder of the modern world. We draw quite a crowd. Everyone swoons over our hayride and abnormal babies until they get close enough to smell the hay. Then they yell, oh so stinky, and throw perfume bottles and boo when we duck. Mom extends 5 of her cashews anyways as a thank you. I slap her wrist and say, no more nuts here. The toddlers and I pick at the hairy lady's beard and flick her strands at the tourists. Ice notices the carnival we've turned into and tells the clowns in the passenger seat to shoot. I forced my cheek against the truck bed. I forced Dad to hum louder. I forced the cholos' sticky mouths to join the choir without telling them the song. Only happy dun-dun-dun Saturday songs here. Together, we sound like the little bells and roller coasters we're supposed to be. The big little kids cry until they see revolvers hanging from the driver's window. This reminds us all of our cousins. So for now, everyone is happy to have a melody to strain. Ice is hungry and makes everyone empty their pockets. Pounds of pesos, receipts, gum, hair ties, lint, and a sketch of La Virgen haloed by English prayer fall. One officer tears my social security card, but not my magic bag of cashews, gracias a Dios. After that, we wrap corn dogs of everything inútil and inedible, whip cotton candy out of our pocket litter. We look to the pink balloon clouds for redemption, stick each other with kisses until a 20-foot toddler sneezes away our family heirlooms. We are half a quarter country from Chihuahuan desert when Mom takes away my nuts de mierda. She says I shouldn't hog the cashews. Don't I see all the kids here? She says this transcontinental truck is shit, that deportation isn't a hayride, and I've dreamed it all. We were still home. ICE hadn't even come. The worst part is that I'm a citizen. The worst part is that I dream of ICE raids when I can't be raided. The worst part is that I wake up every day under clean bed sheets. I think she's right. But maybe the worst part is that I'm still waiting for the door to be knocked down. The worst part is that I can still taste the unbrushable cashew tang. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Penelope. And yes, oh my gosh, yeah, I if that's your voice not warmed up, then I feel like it's gonna be something else. No, I definitely was very moved. That was beautiful. Thank you so much. I hope your first days at Harvard have been well, or Harvard as I remember it. But also, where can folks get your book? It comes out in a week, right?
That's right. There is a virtual release party next Wednesday, the 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, if I'm not mistaken. After that, it will be available on Amazon and on the Haymarket Books website.
Awesome. So you heard it, right? So it's like pretty much this exact same time. So if you were free this week, hopefully you're free the next week. Go check out Penelope's release the same time, Wednesday, 6 p.m. next week. And always support those indie bookstores. Go to haymarketbooks.org, and you can find both the LatiNext anthology, and as you heard from Penelope, you can also find her new chapbook, which I'm definitely very excited about. Cool. How you feeling, Sophia? Are we ready to move into our final performer?
Yes, I'm still absorbing all the beautiful palabra that y'all have been sharing. So just deep gratitude, especially this last poem. I grew up undocumented here, and so to hear you just speak on that so powerfully, yeah, it's just deep gratitude for honoring that experience, for all of you honoring our collective experiences in this country and from many other places, right? So I feel the spirit, I feel the ancestors, I feel the cultura, and just really grateful.
Yes, thank you for those words. Yeah, I think like it's been difficult not feeling like the energy of being in person physically with folks and sharing spaces and poetry and art scenes, but I'm really grateful for spaces like these where folks have been able to convene, and I just like get those goosebumps virtually from being able to hear y'all and see y'all just over a screen. So thank you all for watching, and thank you everyone for here performing and sharing their beautiful work. So with that being said, we are going to move into our final performer. So Linda Soul from Chicago's West Side to Stanford, from poet to MC. Melinda is a multifaceted artist whose life is a puzzle only time can solve. From a young age, she took interest in instruments and poetry. Her work with the pen has led her to the indie and team finals in Louder Than a Bomb 2017, as well as the finals in Cupsy 2018 and 2019. Her poems have since been featured on Button Poetry and Right About Now, as well as featured in The End of Chirac, a literary mixtape, and the BreakBeat Poets, Volume 4, LatiNext. A passion for lyricism and an ear for music eventually birthed an MC. A handful of singles and an EP later, Melinda, known on musical stages as Linda Sol, has had the pleasure of opening for artists such as 2 Chainz, Elamai, Shangela, Dreezy, A Chow, Samaria, and Mariba. You have to correct me if I mispronounce any of those. I won't take it personally at all. She is currently working on developing her craft and shooting more music videos. I'm very excited about that. Check out her music on SoundCloud or Spotify and stop by her YouTube to see her first couple of visuals. The handle is at Linda Sol. So Linda. Oh, I messed it up. Wow, like that. At underscore, so the line thing, at underscore Linda Sol, LINDASOL. Yeah, I don't want to give anything away, but I heard a little bit of a sneak peek of the sound check and it was pretty fire. So definitely stick around, turn up the speakers, whatever you gotta do to prepare. Okay, I'm gonna pass it off to Linda.
Hi, hello, peace and love. I'm sending a huge, warm virtual hug to all the folks over at Mijente and everyone over at the library who's gathering us in these spaces, and all the people who have shared this space tonight and have read. Y'all have been so inspiring, so thank you. I am going to be sharing 3 pieces tonight, and I'll be taking us on this road from poetry to song gradually. So the first thing I'll be sharing is in the book that we're in part here celebrating. My poem, if you'd like to follow along, is on page 206. Notes on pasteles. Tetris blocks of gold hide in the corners of December, each piece a tribute to my late Wella. Rubber bands squeeze the pasteles into stacks of money the whole block trying to stain. But a safe like this only opens with bendiciones, oozing from the mouths of those who have kissed every ancestor goodbye. When Jenny's bank account froze before Christmas, Mom folded masa until her hands dried in prayer. The dirt brown seeped through the aluminum foil and signed its name across the walls of the freezer in sacrifice. And what do you know about gold that runs and boils by the river, leaving nothing but a smell to trace our way back home? Dope, thank you. Also imagining snaps and love on the other side. I hope you guys are having fun tonight. The next piece I'll be sharing is a song off of the first EP I ever dropped. It's called 72, which is the bus that I take growing up in Chicago, North Avenue bus, if you know that. And the song is called Mande Ojo. 72 is a project large in part with just notes on home and what that's been for me. And Mande Ojo has been something that my parents raised me to be very aware of, and to also take measurements against. So this song meditates on ideas of navigating life and avoiding evil eyes. And I'll be performing this a cappella. Mother Ojo, life in slow-mo. No dope chick, she was kinda loco. Had a hot temper, she was filled with cocoa. Don't do the coke though, she smoking dope though. Mother Ojo, don't like the popo. In the streets like Chicago snow, oh. She calls the shots like she in the Ovo. Got better place to spend the dough though. Mother Ojo, delete the social. Friends checked out in disposal. Never got a message, must have broke the postal. Good friends, listen to Marco Polo. Mother Ojo, must stay hopeful. Mama always said that she's better solo. Can't share the news, must delete the post though. Evil eyes watching and she's the foco. But that's just the way it go. I give an inch and they want some more. Now I'm real careful about things I disclose. Some trim me on, some wait for the lows. Either way they're watching and I'm certain. Got birds still tweeting what they lurking. Got a lot of news and it's urgent. But I keep my mouth shut when I'm working, yeah. Gold on my wrist to fight the evil. Once fell off, now I got the sequel. Wish the gold chain could protect my people. Deemed illegal, fuck the penal. Wish the gold chain could protect my primos. Chained to the hood with killer mosquitoes. We draw blood red like hot Cheetos. Hot breakfast, last pick is Fritos. Yeah, I think lust could kill. In a sense, I think lust could steal. In a sense, in the pews we kneel. Trying to find a God that we feel is real. Oh, bless this life that we live, lacking the peace and packing the sin. Fighting some demons, I hope they don't win. Watching me close up under the grid, cause that's just the way it go. I give an inch, they want some more. Now I'm more careful about things I disclose. Some cheer me on, some wait for the lows. Either way they're watching, and I'm certain God best still cheating what they lacking. Got a lot of news and it's urgent, but I keep my mouth shut when I'm working. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that was a mouthful. So many words. So the last song that I'll be sharing is called Mas, and this is born out of a lot of things. It's born out of me growing up in a Spanglish household. It's born from a place of protest and calling for what is ours, not only what we deserve, but what is ours, and advocating for my neighborhood, my people de Puerto Rico, and so on and so forth. So this is some new shit, like up in the notebook, still new shit. So I'm excited to share that with you all. Let's do it. Let me just get this beat up. Awesome. All right, let's do it. Also, this is a gift. It's so beautiful. So thankful for my friends. Yes. Luchando por paz, su vida contrario para la gente, para mi barrio, yo quiero más, es necesario, chasing the future, one hell of a cardio, yo no sé qué, dónde y cómo y dime por qué, tenemos maldad, es presidente, historia, like present day, hey, yo quiero más, yo quiero más, la gente merece paz, la gente merece paz, yo quiero más, yo quiero más, la gente merece paz, la gente merece. Quiero más arroz con dulce tostón. More to my name, need the house that I own. Building myself and I throw in a throne. Sit down, my mama, give all that I owe. So, all my old clothes, only thing on me that is gonna fold. Me and my people don't do what we told. El nuevo mundo, I with the old. Tengo el mundo en mi plato. Despido palabras de fuego, aprendo de mi pasado. Lessons that I cannot let go. Vamos a ser mejor, luchando por esta amor like never before. Better respect the culture, we doing it for. We kicking in all the closed doors. Yo quiero más. Yo quiero más. La gente merece paz. La gente merece paz. Yo quiero más. Yo quiero más. La gente merece paz. La gente merece más vida para afro-latinas. Ay, para todas mis primas. Ay, screaming fuck the sistema. Drinks up whenever we link up. Somos boricuas, luchar con carisma. Ay, unidad de la isla. Ay, y Chicago la misma. Know that you can't keep between us. Familia es todo. Chasing my blood through a photo. All of the stories are local. Spreading the chisme like mocos. Quiero todo, no poco, no solo. Para mí, sino todos. Para ti, we'll go global. Make sure the mic is on. Las vidas negras importan. My picket fence and burn it long. Puerto Rico's not your pawn. Yo quiero más. Yo quiero más. La gente merece paz. La gente merece paz. Yo quiero más. Yo quiero más. La gente merece paz. La gente merece paz. Hey. I don't know, I'm about to have a whole party in my bathroom. Thank you guys for listening and being here. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much, Linda. That was amazing. And those acoustics, I feel like bathrooms just generally have great acoustics. So solid choice for sure. Damn, I feel so energized now. How do y'all feel?
That's great.
Pretty
we
good.
have a couple of minutes, so I wondered, Sophia and Jonathan, if you wanted to just talk a little bit more about Mijente and how people who might be interested in getting involved can do so.
Yeah, definitely. Sophia, do you want to?
Yes. I just want to shout out that last, or one of the amazing lines that Linda Sol just shared with us, Puerto Ricans not your pawn. I just want to say we're here for autonomy of all peoples, and especially those who continue to be on the colony of Puerto Rico, colonized by the US. And we're proud to be in solidarity with our peoples in Puerto Rico and across the world fighting for that independence and self-determination. And yes, drop that tape. We're excited, Linda, so when you drop that tape. And yeah, I mean, that's a little bit, right? Showing what Mijente is about. We're about centering our pueblo, centering our pro-pueblo values, centering our journey towards self-determination, decolonization, and really what that takes, what that requires is community. And the way to build and strengthen our community and our power, we know, is through organizing. The reason I am standing here today, alive, dancing to Linda Sol's music and vibing with all these beautiful words that our poets are sharing, is because organizing and community found me and brought me out of hella darkness from being undocumented, but then all, you know, deeper than that is really the brainwashing, the psychological torture, to be real, the dehumanization that has been happening for not just decades, but centuries, way before I was even born. And so I give deep, deep gratitude for our communities that continue to be, continue the legacy of organizing, which we have not started. We are a continuation and a part of that legacy. And I believe it is our responsibility to make sure that our babies, our future ancestors know how powerful we are. And exactly as Linda shared right now, fight for what is ours, rightfully ours, not just for what we deserve. I really appreciated that clarification. And I think for us here in the US, that means centering Black and Indigenous peoples in this country, centering those struggles, following their leadership, and also seeing our roles in that struggle for freedom, in that struggle for what is ours. So that's a little bit of what Mijente stands for. And we believe that we need that national infrastructure and international infrastructure in order to really build the organizing power that requires, that is required of this process of decolonization, right? It's a big word because it's a big undertaking. And so I know it's a very personal thing, but it's also a collective thing, y'all. And so I want to invite you all into learning, growing, moving, dancing, grooving, and organizing with us. It really, really is about our spirit, our culture, our power. And we can do that all the much better if we just lean on each other, move with each other, are able to see each other across borders, whether they're state borders, national borders, but not just geographically, right? Our identities have been imposed by many, many borders. And we at Mijente are about breaking those down so that we can better see each other, move with each other, and coordinate and build power faster, more effectively, and with more sazon. Because we know our Latinx Chicanez community is diverse AF. Even though we are often put into one box at Mijente, we are proud of that diversity. We are proud of our multiple languages, sabores, colors, histories, and culturas. And so we want to promote and amplify that because we know that there is strength and power in that. So if any of that resonates with you, I invite you to join us, become a member at mijente.net/join. If you identify as Latinx Chicanx, if you identify as a Black person with Latinx roots, an Indigenous person with roots in Latin America, we invite you to join us, build with us, and make sure that you are seen and that we are seen collectively. So that was what y'all moved me to share. No sé, Jonathan or other folks, if y'all want to share anything, add anything, please do.
Thank you so much. This was such a great night. I mean, you thought we were going to a poetry salon, but we got music, we got politics, we got everything tonight. So thank you guys so much. Thanks to Vic Chavez Peralta, Sarah Bruno, Penelope Alegria, and Linda Sol. Make sure you check out their links in the chat with all of their pages and find out more about them. Thank you so much to our partners at Mijente, at Haymarket Books. Thanks to Sophia, Campos, Jonathan Mendoza, and Jose Olivares for putting this all together. I want to remind you to check out onebook1chicago.org for more programs about all kinds of topics related to going beyond borders. Mijente.net for how you can get involved. And also a reminder that in Chicago, all of the information you need about voting is at chicagoelections.gov. That's chicagoelections.gov. This program is going to be available on demand on YouTube, so if you have friends who missed it, tell them, send them the link. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for being here.